Shalom, shalom, shalom. You the Nick with Awaken Israel. Going to be continuing the scripture reading of Deuteronomy. And yeah, we'll praise to Yahweh Hashem Yeshua. Hopefully this is edifying to someone in some form of way. Get into it. This is Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord thy God shall bring to the land of Egypt, whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show them no shew unto them mercy. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his sons, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against thee, and destroy thee suddenly. So, does the Father approve of interracial marriage? No. Based off the scriptures we're reading. But thus shall you deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people, but because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he sworn unto your fathers. And the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, King Pharaoh. That's what. 1 second. Biceps for me personally. Alright, Salaka. Back into it. Verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, Salakia, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. And he repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him, he will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if you hearken to these judgments, and keep and do them, that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers. And he will love thee, and bless thee, and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, and thy wine, and thine oil, the increase of the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep, and the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. Wow. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee. If thou shalt say in thine heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but thou shalt well remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh and to all Egypt. The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out. So shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted of them, for the Lord thy God is among ye, and a mighty God and terrible. The Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee little by little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. But the Lord thy God shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction, until they be destroyed. He shall deliver their kings into thine hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee till thou have destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. So the graven images, their man-made gods, thou shalt burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein, for it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thy house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. So, don't bring no pagan, heathen, God-worshipping items into your dwelling places. Chapter 8. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall you observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone. That he might make thee know that man do not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live. So this is also a twofold scripture. So this is also referring to the Messiah Yahushua. It's not also referring to food. And every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord, so referring to Yahushua. Anyway, verse 4. Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. So he blessed their feet, because in 40 years walking in the wilderness, your feet would have been hurting, bruh. Hey. But thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chastises his son, so the Lord thy God chastises thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God to walk in his ways, and to fear him. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks, of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills. Okay, Thawada, verse 6. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God to walk in his ways and to fear him. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks, of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills. Verse 8. A land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil, honey. For the Father said he would take us into a land flowing with milk and honey. So he said it again. A land wherein thou shalt eat bread with scarceness. Thou shalt not lack anything in it. A land whose stones, iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thy heart be lifted up. Thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions, and drought where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rocks of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna. Thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that you shall surely perish. Once again, these gods are not real. If you want to see the heathens' gods, the Barak chapter 6, it's in the Apocrypha, which is part of the 1611 King James Bible. As the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face, so shall you perish, because you will not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God. Okay. Hear, O Israel, thou art passed over Jordan this day, to go into possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities great and fenced up to heaven, a great and tall, and the children of the Anakims, whom thou knewest and whom thou hast heard, say, who can stand before the children of Anak? Understand this day that the Lord thy God is he which goeth over before thee as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face, so shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord hath said unto thee. Speak not thou in thine heart after that the Lord thy God hath cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness the Lord hath brought me in to possess this land, but for the wickedness of these nations the Lord doth drive them out from before thee. Not for thy righteousness, or for the uprightness of thine heart, dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations the Lord thy God doth drive them out before thee, that he may perform the word which he sware unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand therefore that the Lord thy God giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. Remember and forget not how thou provokest the Lord thy God to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt, till you came into this place, you have been rebellious against the Lord. Also in Horeb you provoked the Lord to wrath, so that the Lord was angry with you. You have destroyed you. When I was gone up into the mount to receive the tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant, even the tables of covenant, which the Lord made with you, then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights, and neither did eat bread or drink water. It's like another precept for me. Verse 12. Verse 12. Okay. Oh, wait. It was verse 9, slacker, so 1 verse 10, slacker. The Lord delivered thee unto me 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of God, and on them was the written according to all the words which the Lord spoke with you in Mount of the midst of fire in the day of assembly. How did I not have this? What? Okay. Adding to my own stuff with these words. But rather for your patience. Verse 11, and it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that the Lord gave me tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. And the Lord said unto me, arise, get thee down quickly from hence, for thy people which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They are quickly turned aside out of the way which I command them. They have made them a molten image. So, fake gods, once again, anybody wants more insight on this, read Baruch chapter 6 in the Apocrypha, the 1611 King James Bible. Molten image, so they made a fake god out of hands. They basically made it with whatever material they did, they made a fake god, like these heathens do. Anyway, 13. Furthermore, the Lord spoke unto me, saying, I have seen this people. Behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than them. So I turned and came down from mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the 2 tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, you had sinned against the Lord thy God, and had made a molten calf. Yep. You had made a molten calf, so they made a fake god, and you turned aside quickly out of the way which the Lord had commanded you. And I took the 2 tables and cast them out of my 2 hands and break them before your eyes. I fell down before the Lord as at the first 40 days and 40 nights. I did neither eat bread nor drink water because of all your sins which ye sinned, in doing wickedly in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure wherewith the Lord was wroth against you, to destroy you, but the Lord hearkened unto me at that time also. The Lord was angry with Aaron to have destroyed him, and I prayed for Aaron also at the same time. And I took your sin, the calf which you made, and burnt it with fire, and stamped it, and ground it very small, even until it was as small as dust, and I cast the dust therefore into the brook that descended out of the mount. And at Taberah and at Massa, and at Kibroth had like this word is long as you provoked the Lord to wrath. Likewise, when the Lord sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you, you rebelled against the commandment of the Lord your God, and believed ye him not, nor hearkened unto his voice. You have been rebellious against the Lord from the day that I knew you. Thus I fell down before the Lord 40 days and 40 nights, as I fell down at the first, because the Lord said he would destroy you. I prayed therefore unto the Lord and said, O Lord Yahweh, destroy not thy people and thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed through thy greatness, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember thy servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not unto the stubbornness of this people, nor to their wickedness, nor to their sin, lest the land whence thou brought us out, lest the land whence thou brought us out say, because the Lord was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, because he hated them, he brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. Yet they are thy people, and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest out by thy mighty power and by thy stretched out arm. Oh, the end. Oh, this was done to someone. Yeah. Oh. Also, this is part of a playlist. There was also an Exodus playlist, Numbers playlist, I believe, and they will all be on the channel for those who would like to hear the scripture reading. Yep. Hope this was helpful.